Hello friends, welcome to CS Tunes. In our last video, we have discussed about grammars for automata. In that video, I have told you that the grammars are further classified into four types, and this hierarchy is given by Chomsky, and that's why this is known as Chomsky classification of languages or Chomsky hierarchy. So in this video, we are going to learn about Chomsky classification, or we can say that Chomsky hierarchy. So based on the form of productions, so that means based on the rules that we are using, the grammars can be classified into four types, starting from type 0 to type 3. So we have type 0, type 1, type 2 and type 3 grammars. So grammars are classified into four types according to Chomsky hierarchy. So the first set, that is our type 0, is recursively enumerable grammar. The second set is of context-sensitive grammar. The third set is of context-free grammar, and the fourth one, that is type 3, is a regular grammar. So as you can see, it is visible from this particular diagram that regular grammar is a subset of context-free grammar. Context-free grammar is a subset of context-sensitive grammar, and context-sensitive grammar is a subset of recursively enumerable grammar. So we can say that regular, context-free and context-sensitive grammars are subset of recursively enumerable grammar. So whenever we are talking about a subset, that means a recursively enumerable grammar consists of all the production rules that are valid for the context-sensitive grammars, also that are valid for our context-free grammars, and the rules that are valid for our regular grammar. So using this diagram, you can understand that the smallest subset is a regular grammar. That means we are going to learn that the regular grammar is the grammar which has the maximum restriction. The restriction on context-free grammar will be less as compared to regular grammar. And as we move up in the hierarchy, we will find that the recursively enumerable grammar are having least amount of restrictions, because in this type of grammar, all the other grammars are contained. Now let's start with our type 0 grammar. So, according to type 0 grammar, they include all the former grammars and generate all languages that are recognized by a Turing machine. So, that means our type 0 grammar consists of all the formal grammars. So, as I have shown you in this diagram, that it consists of all other formal grammars. So, our recursively enumerable grammar consists of context-sensitive grammar, context-free grammar and regular grammar. That's why we are saying that they include all formal grammars and generate all languages that are recognized by a Turing machine. So as we know about the Turing machine, in our videos we have checked that the Turing machine provides the solution for all the problems. That's why the recursively enumerable grammar can be generated using a Turing machine. Now, since it is generated using a Turing machine, these languages are also known as recursively enumerable or Turing recognizable languages, because they generate all the languages that are recognized by a Turing machine. That's why it is also known as Turing recognizable language, as it can generate all the languages that a Turing machine can recognize. Now let's see what is the meaning of recursively enumerable set. A set S is called recursively enumerable if there is an algorithm such that the set of input number for which an algorithm halts is finite. That means if there exists a set S of the recursively enumerable language, then there should be some algorithm, and the number of input provided to the algorithm should be finite, and this algorithm must halt after a period of time. So in other words, we can say that it means that an algorithm must halt in finite number of steps. So whenever an algorithm halts after a finite number of steps, we can say that it is a recursively enumerable set, which is halting an algorithm after a finite number of steps. A language is called recursively enumerable if it is recursively enumerable subset in all set of all possible words over alphabet of the language. That means if the words generated by the alphabets of the language are recursively enumerable, then we can say the language that is generated by the set of these words is a recursively enumerable language. Or in other words, we can say that if there exists a Turing machine which will enumerate all the valid strings of the language, then it is called a recursively enumerable language. That means if there is a Turing machine which can enumerate all the valid strings of the language that is formed using the alphabets of the language, then we can say that the language is recursively enumerable. The best example of type 0 grammar, that is recursively enumerable grammar, is halting problem. So halting problem will be discussed in our later videos. Today we are just going to discuss about the types of grammar. So now let's see that what is the production rule that is used for type 0 grammar. As I have already told you that it is the grammar with least amount of restriction. So it has a very simple production rule. According to the production rule, it says that alpha tends to beta. That means on the left hand side we are having a alpha and on the right hand side we are having the beta. Now, what values can be accommodated in place of alpha? So, alpha is a string of terminals and at least one non-terminal. So, that means alpha can be a string of terminals as well as non-terminal, but it is mandatory that a single non-terminal is compulsory. At least one non-terminal should be present on the left-hand side of the production rule. And alpha cannot be null because we have already said that at least one non-terminal should be there. So it is obvious that alpha cannot be null. Now beta is a string that is formed using terminals and or non-terminals. So beta can be formed using either the string of terminals or the string of non-terminals or combination of terminals and non-terminals. So from here, from the production rule, we have understood that for type 0 grammar, on the left hand side, we can have a string which can be a combination of terminals or non-terminals or terminals and non-terminals. Means we can have a string which is a combination of terminals, non-terminals and a combination of terminal and non-terminal taken together. But there is a restriction that at least one non-terminal should be present on the left hand side and it should not be null. That means a single non-terminal is accepted or a combination of multiple non-terminals or multiple non-terminals and multiple terminals can be allowed on the left hand side. On the right hand side, we can have a string of terminals, we can have a string of non-terminals or we can have a combination of terminals and non-terminals. Now let's see some example of type 0 grammar. So according to the grammar, it is mandatory that on the left hand side there should be at least one non-terminal. After one non-terminal, you can have any number of terminals or non-terminals. So let's see the left hand side of all the rules whether they are satisfying our condition or not. Now, according to the rule, on the left hand side, we are having a single non-terminal. So yes, this is correct for the left hand side. Now, in the second rule, we can see that there is a single non-terminal and a single terminal. So yes, it can also be there in our type 0 grammar. According to the third production rule, it is having two non-terminals. Yes, it is also valid because the restriction says that at least a single non-terminal is compulsory, but you can have more than one non-terminal also. So it is having two non-terminals. Now similarly, a terminal and a non-terminal. So this rule is also valid. So we can, on the left hand side, we can have some rules like this also. There are two terminals and then a single non-terminal. Or you can have a single terminal and then you can have double non-terminal. So you can have any combination of terminals and non-terminals on the left hand side, but the restriction is at least one non-terminal should be present on the left hand side of the production rule of type 0 grammar. Now let's see for the right hand side. So according to right hand side, it says that it should be a string of terminals or non-terminals, or it can be a combination of terminals and non-terminals. So as we can see on the right hand side, that the first production rule is a combination of terminals and non-terminals. It consists of three non-terminals that is represented using capital letters. In the video of grammars for automata, we have discussed that the terminals are represented using small alphabets or numerics, and the non-terminals are represented using the capital alphabets because they are variables. So our non-terminals are variables and our terminals are constants. In case you haven't watched that video, I recommend you that go back and watch that video so that your concepts are clear and you can learn the concepts of type 0, type 1, type 2, type 3 grammars in more detail. So over here, according to first production rule, it says that there are three non-terminals and one terminal. That means it is valid according to the rule that beta must be a terminal, a non-terminal, or a combination of terminals and non-terminals. Now, in the second production rule, we are having two terminals and a non-terminal. So, it is also valid. In the third production rule, we have two non-terminals. So, this is also valid. And in the fourth production rule, we have a non-terminal and a terminal. It is also valid. So on the right hand side, we can also have something like this A, B, C. That means all non-terminals, all terminals because they are represented using small alphabets. So this is also permissible on the right hand side. So now from here, we are clear that whenever we are talking about the type 0 grammar, it is having the least amount of restrictions, and it is the grammar that can generate all the languages accepted by a Turing machine. And the production rule for this grammar is alpha tends to beta, where alpha is a combination of terminals and non-terminals, but a one non-terminal is compulsory on the left hand side of the production rule. However, beta can be a string of a terminal, it can be a string of non-terminals, or it can be a combination of terminals as well as non-terminals. So that's all about the type 0 grammar. In this video, we are going to discuss just about the type 0 grammar. In our next video, we will discuss about type 1, type 2, type 3 grammars. Thank you for watching our video. In case of any queries, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Stay tuned for further videos and please like and subscribe our channel CS Tubes. Thank you.